What's up everyone, John from Beyond ARTV. It is time for another episode of my weekly series 7 on Sunday. Today I'm going to be talking about 7 incredibly epic long songs. I'm talking about ones that are longer than 6 minutes. Those tracks that maybe for most bands they wouldn't be able to pull it off. Or maybe they just kind of tinker and toy around and the songs build up and don't really go anywhere and you feel like you just wasted 6 to 12 minutes of your time. No, today I made sure that I selected songs that are worth your time. 7 songs that are, yes, long, but at the same time very rewarding because there are either multiple parts or layers to peel apart or something to focus on in the lyrical content or maybe something that you just can't get in one listen. That's what makes these songs special, and I do hope that you guys will check them out and enjoy them on the episode today. Now, with this being 7 on Sunday, this obviously limits what I can put on the list, how many songs I can put on the list, so check the description. I put some honorable mentions, some other long songs that deserve the love. Don't forget to drop a like on the video here today, and if you're able to, support me on Patreon. It's that top link in the description down below. Let's kick off the countdown. First up, we have one of my all-time favorites from the band Jimmy Eat World, an alternative rock group that have been around since the late 90s, and I think that they're honestly one of the most stable and consistent bands that we've had in the past couple of decades. So with Jimmy Eat World, they have put together some really great albums, and one of my favorites is Futures, and off that we have 23. That's my selection today. It's the closing moment there, and honestly probably one of Jimmy Eat World's best songs, even from an objective point of view. This track sees somebody who is maybe just falling off the rails because love wasn't requited. The love wasn't going both ways, and that's a two-way street. And I think that here he writes from it like he's older, he's wiser now, he's reflecting on maybe the time whenever he was 23. Jim Adkins, that is the lead singer of this band. And I think that it did make him learn some things because he sees that even though it started off so great and with so much promise, you can't pour your heart in for something that you're just not getting in return. And this song has a fantastic instrumental on it as well, topped off by a guitar solo, some excellent rhythms and melodies on the track. Atkins seems so sincere in the vocal department, and it really just breezes by. It doesn't feel like it's over 6 minutes.
I'm going deep below the undertow, and it won't let go. All I need is silence. There's a thumping that's filled with violence, and it creeps in through the walls at night when I can't see happy from sad, good or bad.
Silent Partner. The lips are sealed. Silent Partner sounds like it could be a jab at her former bandmate Ben, but apparently it's supposedly not. But Trouble in Paradise was the first record that did not feature him. They've only had 2 albums up to this point, and this one came out in 2014. The name of the track that's in the long game today is Silent Partner, and it's one that builds off of this looped and repetitive synthesizer, but somehow it never gets old. The whole vibe of this album in general is definitely a callback to like disco, the 80s, synth pop, but she did it with her own twist, and seeing her take it on as a solo project, especially moments like this, showed how clever that she could be, just building off of minimalism, wordplay, and that sort of thing. And here it just seems like she's very straight up and honest with exactly what she wants to say. You know, you're not a partner, you're not a part of me. And this song goes on for such a long time, but she manages to throw in things that keep it from getting stale. And for some reason, I was instantly drawn to this song. I've heard some people say, this is too repetitive, it just drags its feet, it goes on, but the vocal manipulations that she has there, just the production choices in general, and just that synth tone, they all line up and stack up to make it a worthwhile, epic, long song, at least for me.
Endless night, long full night, my head against this tube, and pushing through, I'm pushing through.
So CELLDWELLER, if you are not familiar, is kind of this project where Clayton combines worlds, whether it be rock, electronic, orchestral. It's something where all of these big things come together and just make for some awesome kind of industrial-leaning, electronic-tinged rock songs. And the long song that I'm talking about today, because he definitely has a few of those under his belt, the one that I wanted to give some praise to is Eon, and that is off of Wish Upon a Black Star. That record came out in 2012. I gave it a very positive review. And Eon is one of those that definitely just pushes the boundaries. He screams on this track. It has these relentless guitars fused in with something that's almost a little bit dubstep leaning, which does date it slightly, but at the same time, I didn't mind the dubstep movement all that much. I was maybe one of those rare breeds that just didn't care, but dubstep actually had some cool stuff, and CELLDWELLER pulled out the best of the genre, and we definitely had some big building collisions of bass drop and guitar solo, which just smashes you in the face. And the vocal changes, the key changes, all throughout Eon, they make it so worthwhile. Ever play Little Big Planet? You might recognize this track even if you're not familiar with this awesome band, Battles. Battles have been around for a while now, but I feel like they're more of like critic darlings, whereas the critics know about them, the masses do not. And I really did enjoy this album here. Lottie Dottie came out in 2015. That was their last record, and I thought that was great as well. Seriously, if you haven't listened to their debut, please do yourself a favor and go listen to Mirrored. But Atlas is the track in question today. Of course, this was on Little Big Planet's soundtrack, and I think it's one of those songs where it leaves the mind open to interpretation because it has this weird, almost voice that's mimicked by the instruments. It maybe makes you think that you're hearing voices. And for the longest time, my friends and I think maybe they found it online and passed it on to me. They were like, this track is actually saying something. It's like backmasked. And people think that it's saying, beat a woman, hit her, stab her, throw her in the car and forget her forever, which is weird. Gruesome, I know, but it's just the way that the instruments sound. Don't let it turn you off from going to check out this track, because that's not actually what it's saying. The band themselves have confirmed that, but it's so weird what it can plant in the mind and make you think that you're hearing. Now with this track coming in at number 3, you can see that it's pretty special to me. It's rising towards the top. We're getting close to the end of the list, and this is a song that I had saved to my favorites list on iTunes back in 2012, 2013, 2014. It came out for a short period, but honestly, earlier this year, I put it back in, and I've still been listening to it because it is that great of a song. It has this kind of raspy voice from the singer that reminds me of the 90s, just the way that he unleashes his frustrations. It's definitely something that maybe reminds me of emo and grunge in a way, but with a hard-hitting instrumental that paints a picture of harder alternative and indie rock. It's something that fuses genres slightly, but at the same time, it's more of just a straightforward rocking song that has multiple parts to it. It breaks down and kind of gets in its own head because it's almost psychedelic at places. Seriously, do yourself a favor and check out Cloud Nothing's Wasted Days. This was one of my favorite songs of 2014 right here. It's called Human Sadness by Julian Casablancas and the VOIDZ. You might know Julian is the lead singer of The Strokes. This was his side project. The VOIDZ are his band. And this right here is a song that he wrote for his father, who has passed away at this point. It starts off very slow. It's over 10 minutes long. It's a lot to take in. I understand that. And I didn't get it at first. The song came out and I was like, okay. It's very long. I don't know what's going on here. I can't understand the lyrics whatsoever. So I I kind of shoved it to the side. Big mistake, Past John, because you know you're gonna come back, and I did. I came back, reviewed the album, ended up loving that track to death. It was one of my top 10 favorite songs of 2014, and it's something that definitely makes you feel all of the emotions, the grief, the pain, the glory, the pride, everything in between, whether it be a family member or just losing someone in general, and life. It just throws you curveballs, and this makes you feel all of those things. In fact, whenever I read along with the lyrics for the first time, tears came to my eyes. It's a sad song, but at the same time, it's bright with its instrumental. It plays off of that bass line that's so sly at first. It's just in the background. There's some light orchestration as well, and that definitely adds a sweeping, gentle feel to the song, but it definitely picks up the pace. I'm not gonna spoil the whole thing, just go listen. As I slowly start my descent into getting into more Radiohead whenever I have the free time, Paranoid Android creeped its way into my mind. I remember loving that one, especially in the past few months, and I was like, is that one over 6 minutes? Oh, perfect, it qualifies for my list, and here it is, claiming the top spot today. Paranoid Android. It's off of OK Computer. It's hard to believe that this is 20 years old at this point. Now, this track in particular was inspired by lead singer Thom Yorke and his inspiration at the bar, because he saw a bunch of people that just were acting not like humans, he said. He said that they were getting high, they were drunk, they were rowdy, they were out of control, almost animalistic in a way, and they were giving into their basic instincts. And this track really does represent that. It's about people, it's social commentary, and it goes deep on that. Thom Yorke's voice on this is almost angelic as it just hovers above the notes here. It has an amazing and alluring acoustic guitar going in the background, a mellotron, everything. The song has a huge fucking guitar solo on it, and it sends it to outer space. I love this song. Just getting wrapped up in that world, you will lose yourself in the track. It's heavily inspired by Queen, as the band themselves said. A couple of other inspirations like Happiness is a Warm Gun as well. The song is pure magic. Alright guys, you made it to the end of the episode of SOS, and as I'm gonna start doing in coming weeks, I'm gonna start giving you a question of the week, at least some weeks, and then I will answer it in the next episode. And this week, it's a personal favor. I want you to do something for me. I'm planning on launching a brand new series right here on this channel called Worst or Best Lyrics, something like that, but we're gonna start mainly with the worst lyrics from insert band or artist here. And my favor that I need from you this week is I want you to tell me the worst of the worst whenever it comes to Lil Yachty lyrics. Comment them down below. I will be looking through those, judging from my own personal taste, what I've seen over time with Lil Yachty as well, and I will probably be putting out the first new episode in a week or two, sometime in the near future. Look for that on the horizon. Don't forget to slap a like on this video today, and if you're able to, support me on Patreon. It's that top link down below. Or even easier for you, you can click my Patreon page right here. It's that annotation floating in the corner, or you can click right here for last week's episode of 7 on Sunday. Click right here for another game, a fun music-related game that I did right here on this channel. All of my socials can be found in the description down below. Other than that, I'll see you very soon right here on Beyond ARTV.